to Too Many Hats podcast with your host with the most, Tony and Lavelle. Every morning from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. We also have Queen Watkins with Clock That P. Tune in with us and have a great time. Let's talk about it right here. Too Many Hats podcast.
Top of the morning to you guys, man. I think Tony is having worship this morning. I heard him singing. I guess that's what that was. Like he's preparing to get ready to go to work. Hopefully everybody had a beautiful Monday. We've gotten away from some of this rain that we've been dealing with, and we're still praying with those individuals who are still dealing with waters and floods. See, Arkansas is still dealing with that. Over in West Memphis, buddy of ours, Reddy is Freddie. So we most definitely in prayer for you guys, what you guys are going through over there. And everybody's still dealing with this water. I think out in Dyersburg, they're dealing with the same thing. So yeah, man, that water and those tornadoes last week was crazy. So man, we in prayer for everybody that's going through those situations, man. There goes Sexy Red.
Yeah.
Getting sexy. Looking at
Getting sexy.
Top of the morning,
man.
You got it, man. You finna
it's
go
cold
hunting
out here, bro.
Like you finna go hunting.
Nah, it's cold outside, man. Shit.
It's cold outside. Who are you rooting?
Ooh,
Yeah,
man.
Happy Tuesday, Doc.
Happy Tuesday to you, my guy.
Yes, sir.
I apologize for being 3 minutes. I already had it set up, but I had to step out right quick.
You all good, man. We in this thing together. You hear me?
Well, I'm glad. I'm glad we in it together.
Yes, sir.
Man, look.
Yes, sir.
We have I've seen some crazy interviews lately. There are some weird, crazy interviews. And one was
I already put it up there.
well, you know, one was this lady talking about her husband. Her husband had come to her and he tried to do it in a way where he tried to manipulate her into feeling some type of way. So what he basically wanted to do, so she said he went on whatever site he went on, and he ordered all of these. He ordered a strap-on and all of these, whatever other tools they needed, and basically wanted her to peg him. And she said she thought the conversation was a little weird. She was like, maybe he's just talking. She said, maybe he's just talking. He's, you know, and she was like, well, no, isn't that kind of gay? And he was like, no, it's not gay. If you're a woman, you my wife, and you do it, that's not gay. And she was like, okay. Maybe he's still just talking. Let me see how far he gonna go with it.
Yeah.
He said he actually ordered all of the sex tools, everything she needed. And she was like, this dude is serious. So she said, he probably ain't gonna go through with it. She said he allowed her to go through with it and do it. And she said, like, at that point, she really realized, oh, this ain't his first time doing this.
Mm-hmm.
And so she was like, this dude is my husband is a down low dude. And so the guy was like, so did you like it? She was like, no, it was absolutely disgusting. And then he said, so did you leave? And she said, no. She said she didn't leave because she said all they, I don't know how long they had been married, but she said all of their marriage, he was so adamant about her not working, her staying at home. They had kids. They had 3 kids, raise the kids, stay at home, not work, none of this. So she said basically he set her up and put her in a position where she had nothing. Like if she left, all she would have had was the kids, and she would have to go somewhere and try to go back. She said he wouldn't let her go to school or work, so she had no skills.
Wow.
And so she said she stayed because of that. And I'm sitting there saying, are you serious? So it prompted me, and I saw another video that's kind of similar. It was similar in context. So I said, if you discover your spouse or significant other is interested in the same sex, what would you do?
Okay.
If you discover your spouse or significant other is interested in the same sex, what would you do? And I thought about that, and I was like, that's a tough one. It's a tough one for cause I know a lot of men. If you think about men, we kind of, sometimes our thinking is different. Well, women too. But with men, we kind of think like, man, if she like other women, we can just bring up, they'd be thinking about bringing the other woman into the fold.
I thought about what you were saying because we had this topic similar about 6 months in of us doing the show, and you brought that same scenario up. Like some men would be like, cool,
yeah.
But what about the other way around? How you gonna
the flip side, you wouldn't be cool with it.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying. You wouldn't be cool with it if the woman said, okay, bring you like the dude, bring the dude in. But the woman probably wouldn't even suggest that because she thinking it's not that like it's 2 heterosexual men that she with, it's 2 gay men that's really doing each other, that she don't want no part of that.
No.
But I think it is, we don't care if the 2 women are gay as long as they bisexual and they like men too.
I guess my problem is this.
Which is weird.
Yeah. 9 times out of 10, if that particular situation comes up, that means that person was already like that. It ain't something that just happened. And I really despise men that, of course I ain't saying I don't think about the woman, but it's kind of different with a man. If that's what you're gonna be and you choose to be that, be that. Don't be around there downlowing, get married to a woman and all this stuff, and then all of a sudden your urges and stuff come back out, and then you want to. No, that's wrong, bro. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I think you had talked about it once before that you married somebody. I think either you married somebody that if you they figured out. Oh, yeah. You said you kind of figured out something was going on with the dude anyway.
Oh yeah, dude was dude was sweet as what they say on Tennessee whiskey, strawberry wine.
But not that you married him, but you was at the wedding. You DJ'd the wedding, yeah. And you mentioned that, and I was like, so why would she marry a dude if she knew he was like that? And you was like, I don't really think she really actually knew. She might have had but that just didn't know. So that's weird, bro. Like it's always been weird to me. I guess TV and I don't know. It seems like it's more normalized for women to be attracted to the same sex than it is for men to be attracted to the same sex, right? And so I guess since it's more normalized, we are more accepting of it. and then we look at men, we be like, you know. But this is my thing with it all the way around. If you
You're an idiot. I'm
he
sorry.
said call him Jojo Neo. That ain't crazy. If he made me lose my damn train of thought.
Oh wow.
If you gonna be that way, I think you ought to be a man and be that way. Which means walk like a man, talk like a man, act like a man. You just like other men.
Right. That's what Dawn always says. She been saying this since I've
Same with women. Like
right.
if you a woman and you like a woman, why you gotta go and dip your pants, have your pants low, cut your hair down low, get a fade, dress like a dude? If you a woman and you gay, just be a woman and gay.
Yep. I admire that when it's like that.
I'm just saying, like,
I respect it.
I've seen two feminine women together, and like they don't even look like that, but they like women. They're attracted, and they're attracted to femme. They're not attracted to the bush thing, because I guess they say I might well get a dude if I'm, but
right.
You know, and I don't know. I ain't gonna say it looks more right, but I guess it just looked like it. I don't know. It just seemed different.
Yeah.
And
then the thing about it is, here in these, these last, 15 to 20 years, just, in this 21st century, this has become such a sensitive subject when we talk about homosexuality and being gay and all that. And my thing is, why are you upset and or mad when somebody says something about it? Like, that's the choice you made. I mean,
good morning, Mayor. Good morning, Queen. It's a choice that they made, and some of them say it's not a choice. I was born this way.
Mm-hmm.
Then I don't want to argue either way. About that part of it. My thing is, and I ain't gonna argue about none of it really. My thing it just look. I guess if I was a gay man, I'll be a gay man. I'm not gonna go around here switching and put on women in nails and makeup and eyelash to look like a woman, and I'm a man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, Joseph, you're absolutely correct. It's gonna be double standards on this one because it's the mindset of people. Like I told you, it's more normalized to see women like that as opposed to seeing men. I don't care how many times you see it on a movie or whatever. You're gonna be but you see the woman, you don't think nothing of it. You don't frown, you don't nothing. It's just So yeah. I guess getting back to my question, I know Joseph, how you feel, Neo. if you feel like if you are a man, first of all, I'm like Lavelle. If you like that, just be that.
Mm-hmm.
Don't hide it and right here trying to marry a woman or a man, and that ain't where you at. And then later on down the line, you want to jump back into what you're doing, and you, like Lavelle said, get the urges and you go back. And now you could potentially hurt more than yourself. I mean, all these diseases, you could pass stuff and everything else, bro. Like, I just don't know if I don't know personally if I could really accept it.
Yeah.
Like I could, well, yeah. I don't know if I could accept that. I know it's hard to say, or it's easy to say what you'll do when you ain't been faced with that situation.
Right.
But I guess when faced with that situation, I don't know.
What it does is, especially in the situation how the question is formed, is that you've been lying to me all this time. You know what I'm saying? However long that situation has been. So I ain't even got the problem with you being gay. But you don't lie to me all this time. I mean, you've been doing some shit that back and forth, doing this and the third. You telling me at work and you at JoJo house. You know what I'm saying? So it's the whole cover up for me.
And Queen, I think Queen brought this up one time before about men being pegged, and I said, "What is peg? What is that?" I didn't know what that was, and she's like, "You don't know what that is?" I was like, "No." She said, "Look it up," and I was like, "So that's how I even knew about it. When I saw the video, I knew what it was because Queen had brought it up before, and I was like, and this lady, bro. If you really look at the lady, bro, she was hurt, bro. Like it was a different kind of hurt, and it was like because they had 3 kids together, and I don't know at what point like this came out for him or he come to the realization that this is what he liked. But she knew in the moment that, oh, this is definitely not his first time doing this. And it made her feel some type of way. It made her feel like the trust that she had went out the window. Man, she felt like, man, like I've been lied to. Like our entire marriage, I've been lied to, but I've been put in a position to not be able to grow, like getting a job or going to school and all this because and she felt like all this came in her head like, oh, I was literally trapped. Like he trapped me in this situation. Like he didn't want me to go to school. So when I found out, I didn't have nothing to fall back on. And so she stayed because she just like it played out like he wanted it to.
Well, let me ask you this,
that's how she felt.
Let me ask you this. So typically, because for a person to do a situation like this, you're a hell of an actor or actress for one, because there got to be some red flags, bro. Like typically, you could tell. It's probably kind of harder for a woman to tell, but you could tell when a man got a little sugar in his tank. Something gonna come out.
So I've seen situations where the man or the male was raised in a house full of women.
True, we talked about
and there was no male presence, and so they picked up on feminine ways, but they were men. Like they love women, but they just had feminine ways, right? I seen that. Then I also seen where there was a household where it was the same thing, but it was some other brothers and brothers and some uncles that were around and sisters and a mom, but the mom raised her by herself, and one was more feminine and the other one were manly men. So I done seen it both sides.
Yeah.
I used to often talk about Mel. Mel, man. Mel cut my hair. Mel was my barber. Him and his sister was my barber for years. And Mel cut my hair. And at first, I just thought he was one of those, because he had brothers, uncle around and stuff. I just felt like he was one of those feminine dudes that had, just had them feminine ways or whatever. And then later on, like as we became good friends, with their family and stuff, he started I don't know if he got comfortable, but he started to try to share like his sexual escapades and stuff with me. And that's like, dude, bro, keep it to yourself, man. I just want you to cut my hair, And but it was something that I noticed like early on, like I wasn't sure. I knew he had those feminine characters, but he never talked about it. But then when he started talking about it, I was like, yeah, he gay, you know.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I don't want to hear it just cut my hair. So, like I said, I've seen both sides of the spectrum. So I know a young man that's married, got kids, but has some feminine ways, but don't like me.
Yeah.
So
but the one thing that was about Mel that kind of like stood out with me that I knew that he was gay. You saw the tendencies, like you said, but the man kept some bad women with him all the time, bro.
man,
I'm
and
talking
guess
about.
what? And guess what?
But
The bad women not just liked him, loved him.
I know
I'm
it.
talking about
Man,
wanted.
that man was with my Uncle Terry one time, man, and brought it was like 3 ladies, doc, to my grandma's house. I was like, these women from Memphis? Where are we? I was like, wow.
And they absolutely loved him. And when I tell you they loved him, bro, they wanted to date him. A couple of them wanted to marry him.
I know.
One
time he came real close, didn't it?
One girl took him to Africa he was in Africa for 2 years just living off the girl.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Bro.
Did I tell you, did you know my Uncle Terry passed?
Yeah, you told. Yeah.
I couldn't even remember. With so much stuff going on.
but I'm saying I've seen it. So, again, as it relates to me, I don't know if I could necessarily deal with it. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
And I know it would be hard because I think it's more harder for women because you feel like, man, I had kids with this dude. I done did all this, and he out here, man, letting another nigga run up in him.
But then, we have to play in the factor. We mentioned this last time we discussed, if they been sexually, molested or something like that, and been tampered with down through the years or whatever the case may be, and they kind of wrestling with themselves, so to speak. So is that a thing to the point to where is that do you get a way out when it's something like that?
Bro. I see where you're going with it. That's a conversation that needs to be had when you got serious, when you in the relationship serious, and y'all talking about taking it to the next level. That's a conversation that should be had. So look,
it's easy said than done. Well,
I'm just saying, we so busy trying to hide stuff, but like you said, if we hide it, and it come out, and then you want to tell me after it come out, well, I was sexually abused, it's too late. Then I don't want to hear it.
Mm-hmm.
Cause I feel like now you just trying to make excuses for whatever didn't happen instead of saying
yes and no. I agree with you, but I would say this: that it's already a delicate situation to be dealt with. You're embarrassed by it, especially when it be like family members done tamper with you. You know what I'm saying? Your uncle or your auntie or something like that. Here it is, you thinking you cool going to your uncle's house or your grandma's house, and then you really scared to go there. You can't tell your mom and your daddy that Uncle Nuck messing with me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So you already hurt. You can't tell nobody. I couldn't tell none of my family, but I don't get with this dude, and I don't feel in love with him. And just because I love him, I should be able to tell him. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it should be a conversation. Like if you love me, and there are some things going on, I think at some point we ought to have that conversation and say, well, look, I want you to tell, like sometimes, I have triggers, because just think if you're sexually involved with somebody and you touch them the wrong way, and you're gonna be like, wait a minute, or you touch them, wait a minute, and then they feel like, then if y'all have a conversation, that person tells you, I just feel like it should be a conversation had that, hey, we're getting serious, and I want you to know more about my background. What kind of happened or transpired when I was younger. I was molested at an early age. So now I know that that's a delicate situation. you know what I'm saying, moving forward or how to proceed. And if something pops up in that nature, I guess like we need to get you some help, some therapy, because you know, or whatever. But if you tell me after the fact, Lavelle, I done caught you doing with the same sex, and
Yeah, that's a different
now you
story.
want to tell me that, I'm
Yeah,
thinking now that's a cop out. Oh, you make an excuse. You see what I'm
yeah,
saying?
I see that. It
Yeah.
can go either way. It depends on the scenario. It can go either way. But you'll probably be amazed, bro, that people are living with these stories and this has happened.
Oh, I know, bro.
And ironically, the majority of the time these situations happen. We just gonna go there. We go keep it a book at church.
Yeah.
My daddy, I was playing for this community choir one time, and my daddy came out, because I just want to play. I ain't, I'm oblivious to the fact I can tell these dudes, they some old time punks, you know what I'm saying? Excuse my friend. And but I just enjoying myself playing, having a good time, some of the big hitters back in the day. And so we did the little concert or whatever the case may be. And my daddy came. We said he enjoyed himself, and we left, and we got home. He said, "Son, I enjoyed myself, but you ain't playing with them no more." Bro, I
You
was like,
like,
"What?"
why, daddy? Why?
I get it. I knew it. You know what I'm saying? But I ain't studying them. So evidently he saw something, that I didn't see. That maybe somebody probably, maybe,
And he didn't want to have to put hands on nobody.
yeah, yeah,
And he didn't want to have to put hands on nobody. Yeah.
yeah.
You and I even know of a guy that
Of course,
this kind of happened to,
of course.
and so was it shocking?
Mm,
It sort of,
yeah, kind of, yeah,
because now I didn't think I just always thought the guy was weird.
yeah, very much so.
I thought the guy was weird, kind of off a little bit, but I never thought that, but you never know.
Hmm.
And so and I think that was hurting because of the position
Hmm.
and all of that stuff, you
Right.
know.
Hmm.
Um, and then embarrassing at the same time,
Of course.
for both families, you know.
Hmm.
So
So I guess too, man. It being that we we are on the plight to make individuals better and involved in life. I bet you 9 times out of 10, it's some of our people, our listeners. And if you want to, you can share it. I mean, I bet you 9 times out of 10, if we got 80 followers, I'm just using the number, that follow us all the time. 9 times out of 10, 60 people that's gonna happen to. And that's a high number. But they just won't share it. They probably if they've shared it, they've shared it with some people that's very close to them.
yeah,
So you gotta do your own closet management, Doc. So
I do believe was that it might have been you that says live your truth. I think you said that one time. You just need to live your truth, whatever your truth is. And I do
mhm,
believe that. I believe I believe that life will be better for you if you would just
mhm,
live your truth,
mhm,
whatever that is.
right.
If you like the same sex, live your truth, man. This is what it is, man. Ain't nobody got to give an account for your actions but you.
Yeah. I think the other detrimental part of what happens as well, when it comes to parenting and your child becomes in this scenario, and you feel as if that you can discipline or beat the gay away.
Yeah,
You that's don't do that,
yeah,
because it was something that you did, just like my daddy did. Hey man, I know you like playing drum, but you ain't going back over there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then you got this thing in church, everybody calling everybody uncle and daddy and all that. Nah,
Yeah.
dog. Mm-mm.
Yeah.
Nope.
And I get it. I just feel like, hey, just live your truth, whatever that truth is, live your truth. And you know, especially if it makes you feel better, because if you don't live your truth, ultimately, you're going to destroy somebody else's.
Yep. Really, mainly yours first.
Yeah, but you're going to destroy other lives around you because you're not living your truth. You're living a lie, and you around here, then you're trying to fake the funk, and then you getting other people involved, and you hurting other people along the way. So I think just live your truth, whatever your truth is. You know, and I think that's the only thing I can add to this particular segment is that live your truth, whatever it be. If that's what you are, who you claim to be, live that as your truth, because you don't want to be in a situation where you're faking the funk, living a lie, and then you get other people involved. Especially, man, like if you're a man or a woman, and you out here, then you get married, and you going through all this, then people find out, oh, she got caught. She got caught in the car with another girl. Oh, she got caught. Man, now you embarrassed, the family embarrassed, and the man, he can't come out in public. He moved to a whole nother city and state. Just you got to go through all that, man.
It's harder for a man for whatever the reason. It can be accepted with a woman, but like you say, if you tell that person it up front, because some folks think that once you go that way, that you gay out, you gay, period. Once it happened to you. So let's just say this man tell this woman, you know what I'm saying, they get to know each other and say, hey, look, man, I've been sexually molested. I've tried to go that way. It didn't work. I truly love women. Will you accept me? Some women ain't gonna do that, doc.
Mm-hmm.
They just think, you don't went that way, you gay for the rest of your life.
And this song will accept it. I have seen it where they like, hey, as long as he don't bring me nothing home, we get tested regularly, and he knows if he go out there and do that, they live where they do their own thing. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, woo.
Wow.
Joseph says, Tony, that's a conversation to be had for sure. If you were done wrong by your significant other, your significant other should know that, to help not trigger those emotions for sure. Now, for the people that's done some wrong to someone, do you or how does one gay have that conversation with your significant other? Do you, because it was in the past?
Kind of what I just said.
I think if you because I've seen people do this in college, especially women, where or high school, where they go through that phase where they think they like women, and they try it, and they be like, I tried it, it was okay, it was cool, but it was just a phase. Now I'm on to me, And again, like Lavelle said, it just tend to be more acceptable from women. But because if you tell your husband or your guy that you engaged to, hey, yeah, I used to like girls in high school. I like girls, and we dated a couple of them, but I just felt like, nah, that wasn't my thing. Nigga be like, oh, okay. And go about his business. But if a man tell a woman that, well, yeah, when I was in high school, I thought I liked guys and I did that, and yeah, it just wasn't my thing. The girl gonna be looking at you like, nigga, bye.
Period,
I know it probably was a skit. It looked like it could have been a skit. Anyway, it was a video that the girl was sitting at the table with the guy. They was on their date, and the guy was like talking on the phone, and he was like, excuse me 1 second. He was like, no, I told you I'm done with that lifestyle. I don't do that no more. I'm out here now on a date. And the girl was like, wait, what lifestyle? And he was like, nah, I told you I don't like men no more. She's sitting there like, what? And then he got out the phone and she was like, Can you take me home? She said, better yet, no, I'll catch an Uber. And he was like, no, where you going? Where you going? And she was like, you just said you. He said, no, I ain't gay no more. I ain't gay no more. Like, she was like, man, I'm out of here.
Wow. That's crazy.
So I'm telling you, bro, like it's different, man. It's like I don't know if that it might have been Joe said it's double standards. It is double standards. Like we're more accepting to women doing it than men. We accept that and move on. Like, okay, that was a phase you were going through. But women ain't gonna say, oh, that was a phase you were going through. You was sucking niggas. That was a phase you were going through. Nope.
They ain't going with that. They not going.
Yeah, nope.
It's I mean, it's the world we live in. I mean, and her again, you know, like when we first started the podcast, you know, you was like, man, we're gonna stay away from certain subjects and thoughts and this and the third. I'm like, how can we? I said,
Yep.
because some stuff, people are literally hurting, bro. And hiding things and wanting help. And you know, it's just one of those things to the point to where they got to confide in somebody at some point and say, "Hey, man, look, I've been dealing with this for a long time, and I need some help."
Well, I go back to what you said. Like, if this was something, if I was a man, I'm not gonna say if I was a man, and maybe in high school or even before high school, I thought I liked boys, and then I realized really quick I ain't like boys. I went on to girls. I don't think I would ever have that conversation with a woman. If I know I'm way past it, oh, we ain't never having that conversation. And I think Monica just said something similar. She said, I can understand why some conversations are not had. People say they understand, but really don't unless certain things happen directly to them. And that, yeah, so same thing. Like, I don't know. I don't know if I would necessarily have that conversation. You know what I'm saying? Because like it wouldn't be more accepting. I don't think it would be more accepting from the woman than it would be if the woman said, oh, when I was in middle school, high school, I like girls, but I got out of there real quick. The dude probably be like, oh well, you know. But I think that if you've been traumatized or molested as a person, whether male or female, I think that's a conversation that needs to be had because again, like Joseph said, you may run into or hit some of them triggers that might not end well. Then you trying to explain at that point, and they were like, damn, you should have told me that while we was dating. Like I could have helped you kind of maybe navigate through it, or we could have went to therapy and got there, you know, whatever, something.
Right.
So Joseph said, go on social media, you will for sure see a girl throwing that booty in the circle and her girlfriend friend smacking on that peach. Yep. Women are more acceptable. That's true. That's true. I think you can. I think you can, but I just think, like you said, like certain conversations, you just if that was in my past, like way in my past, that's in my past. Now, like when you talk about the trusting aspect, so if I'm just dating you and we don't know if it's going serious or moving to the next level, I may not share them childhood traumas with you. Because some people will take that stuff that happened to you and y'all break up. Now it's on the World Wide Web.
Right.
Girl, you know, he told me he was raped when he was 7. Told me his uncle was smacking him in the booty every day. You know what I'm saying? So I guess, you know, yeah, the trust thing really would. Yeah.
But I guess the only danger in it, and I'm gonna use an analogy. When you drive your truck and in your rearview mirror, it says objects are closer than they appear. Your mirror, your driver mirror says objects are closer than they appear. It's some stuff that's in your life that you think that's gone. They right there. Every time you turn around because you ain't dealt with it.
Right.
And so
I just don't know, man. Like if you, again, I'm gonna go back to the live your truth, man. Whatever your truth is, just live your truth, because if not, bro, you're gonna end up hurting more, or you know, more than just you being hurt in the end. You're gonna have other people, man, hurt, embarrassed, you know, sick or whatever. It's like you gotta make sure whatever your truth is, you live your truth, bro, because you know you're gonna drag somebody else down through the mud with you.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, you know, we ain't gonna say they deserve that. I mean,
Yeah.
why you gonna say they deserve that? You know what I'm saying? Did you deserve it?
But it's just like what's the lady that her show is not on no more, but it's was it Fix My Life, what's the lady name? Yana.
Ayana, whatever. Yeah.
I've seen stories where she's interviewed individuals, and you know that child is now of age. You know, she is 35 or 38 or 45 or whatever was going on at the time, and they share with the parents what happened to them, and the parent be like, "Why you just say nothing?" You know, it's easier said than done. You know what I'm saying? We and then you know
So
you already
so
know
so
how.
let me ask you. So
Okay.
if you are whatever age, just say
Hmm.
you're underage, period,
Right.
and you at the house with your parents, and when your parents leave, you got an uncle that live there or auntie that live there, or a friend of the family that live in the house, and they're touching you inappropriately or molesting you. You don't think that person should say nothing, like, then?
Sometimes they do say something. The parent don't believe them.
Well, then that's a shitty parent. I'm just gonna be honest with you, because if my child come to me and tell me that, because that's why people, like you said, they wait till they 35, 40, and they life ruined, and then they coming back. Uncle Johnny was molesting me. Why do you tell me? You never told. I could have, because I shared other stuff with you and you dismissed it.
Right there, doc. That's it. That's it
I
right there.
shared other things with you and you dismissed it.
Hmm.
I tried to talk to you, and what we said, being in the house don't mean nothing.
Just do that. You ain't present.
You ain't present. And I'm in the house, and I tried to talk to you. I tried to share with you, but you wouldn't. You had too much other stuff going on. You wouldn't listen.
Hmm. To this day, I think we said this one before. I said it once before that Fifi and Liliville, they were mad at me and Don. They had a conversation. They came and told her about it. That we was mean because we didn't let them go over nobody how.
You ain't look. Not that I don't trust y'all.
Right.
I don't know who I can trust over there.
Hmm. Yep. So it is what it is.
You got to, like, it's people. And then this is another thing that happens too. That reason people as children or underage don't say nothing. When it happens, bro, they're so traumatized by it that they try to stick it in the back of their mind and lock it away. I don't
Yep.
want to think about it. I don't want to remember it.
Hmm. Hmm.
And then something happens that triggers that, and it brings it back up 30 years later.
Hmm.
And they say, I remember when you did such and such to me.
Hmm.
I had to lock it in the back of my mind, locked it away.
And what's so crazy though, bro? A lot of the times in a situation like that, the same thing have been to happen to the parent. It
Yeah.
be a cycle because they could say nothing to their folk. I told my children, y'all could talk to me about anything. I don't care how it come up. I don't care how it come out. I mean, I know there's a certain level of disrespect and respecting each other, whatever. But if it's gonna be to your detriment of where you contemplating, doing something to yourself or something like that, you need to say something. Period.
I've always let my kids, now if it's getting too crazy, I say, hey, pump your brakes a little bit. But I've always allowed them to kind of express themselves especially as I'm gonna say more so as well. I always let them express themselves, but in terms of like the profanity and stuff like that, as they got older, more like young adults, I let them, because especially if I could see they was really trying to get something off their chest, express, and I'll sit there and be listen to them, and they be using profanity, and I listen because I'm like, then if I saw them like kind of getting, I'd be like, oh, pump your brakes. I hear you, but okay. But they trying to get their point across, and I understand. And it's the same with me, because I know I could be talking to my mama if something that pissed me, me off, and I'm talking to my mama about it. I may use some cuss words.
Yeah, but I just think we always for whatever reason, bro. When we come back to one of those subject matters, man, that you really be like, man, I just hopefully, man, whoever's going through this would have somebody to be there for them, because you got a lot of people that's alive but they ain't living, man. They dying on the inside because of stuff that has happened to them that they can't share with nobody.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I know they got hurt. So
man, we got tea this morning?
Yeah, we got tea.
Let's clock that tea, man. It's 8:46.
No doubt.
Good morning. Y'all know what time it is. Put them phones down, fingers up. It's time to clock that tea with your girl, Queen Watkins.
You got a banner.
Y'all ain't having no but y'all know what time it is. It's time to clock that tea. Y'all, let's talk about dating in 2025. What's really going on? Okay, especially with this Facebook dating app. Let's talk about it. So there's a guy that's well known in Memphis. His name is Dre. He decided to go on his Facebook dating app. And like, he's a music producer. He produced different music videos, things of that nature. So he's known around the city. So he went on the dating app and he seen a young lady, a beautiful young lady to him, and he was just like, he's gonna see what's up. Her name is Yasmin Cotton. Yes, I'm saying their names because it's all over social media. If you have a social media account, 9 times out of 10, 8 times out of 10, this story has probably ran down your TL, especially if you're from the city. But let's continue. He's seen her, he liked her, they text a little bit, she was letting him know, like, hey, she kind of got trust issues because of her ex-boyfriend, like beating on her, abusing her, whatever. So he was basically telling her, don't miss your blessing because what was going on in your past. So they ended up deciding to go get something to eat. She told him to come pick her up from not her house, her mother's house. First off, you just now meet somebody. I don't care what you think you know about that person. Don't you ever do no meet and greet, especially the first time y'all meet to your own house. That's insane, but I'm going to let y'all know why towards the end of the story, okay? So anyway, they went to this hibachi restaurant, and his friend, he knew somebody at the hibachi restaurant. So he had shots, and he usually give Dre shots when he come. So they went to this place in South Haven because old girl is from Horn Lake. So they went to this hibachi place in South Haven. And so they was cooking the hibachi in front of them or whatever. And she got a shot, he got a shot, but she wanted another one. So he pulled another shot in her mouth. And then she asked for another one. So he pulled another shot in her mouth. And Dre asked her, he was just like, are you okay? And she was like, well, I just lost my dad. I got a lot going on, blase. So he was like, okay. So they continue on, but the date didn't last long at all. Like, he wanted to put her like in music videos and things of that nature, but the date didn't last long because he said she got drunk really quick. And when she first came around him, like, her energy was kind of off. But after she was drinking and stuff, she just wanted to start feeding him and rubbing on him and kissing on him. And old boy was like, well, damn, I just met you. This is a lot, especially in public. So he was just saying, he asked for the ticket because he was ready to roll, and old girl started crying, right? She was crying before he asked for the ticket. That's why he asked for the ticket, because old girl was in the restaurant crying. He tried to figure out why she's crying, and he said the white people was just constantly looking at them. And so he was ready to go. So as they're driving home, she's in the car. I seen the video. I seen her, the actual girl. And she was in the car just saying, you know, no, you didn't touch me. No, you didn't do nothing to me. Nothing like that. I'm just in my feelings. My father passed away. The ex-boyfriend be putting his hands on me. And she didn't like the fact that Dre was trying to take her back home to her destination. So he was recording. And she was like, don't record me. And he was just like, basically, this is for my safety. Why I'm recording. This is for my safety. So she just had an issue with this. So she slapped his phone out of his hand. And then next thing you know, when he started back recording, she was on the phone with the police. And she was basically saying that he was trying to sex traffic her and told her to do sexual things to him and things of that nature. But put two and two together, she told the police that she wasn't getting out the car until they arrived. Sweetheart, if somebody's doing something to you that you don't want them to do or you don't like them doing, why would you tell them people that you're going to stay in that man's car? Right. And he's on the other, like in the video saying, hey, I'm going to stay here and wait on y'all because I know I ain't do nothing. So when they pulled up to the crib, to her house, because he was asking for the girl address and everything. When they pulled up to the house, he went and knocked on the door and he was asking them like, hey, can y'all get her? Like she just in my car, she won't get out, right? So ended up, they let him go. At the end of the day, they let him go. She was wanting to press charges on him. And now he's trying to press charges on her for falsely accusing him. And so now they're both on Facebook Live, like, this is this story and this is that story. I ain't taking nobody's side because I was not there. The side I'm taking is the damn video I saw. And on the video, old girl said he didn't do nothing to her. He didn't try to touch her, didn't try to kiss her, didn't try to do nothing at all. He just wanted to take her home because she was doing too much. And he said because of the title that he has, he got to record. He got to record when females are doing the shit that they do. And she knew he was recording because she kept asking him to stop recording, right? So he stayed for the police and everything, and they allowed him to leave. So, y'all, this story is insane. It's going so viral. People are having their, oh, now I'm on her side because of the video that he just posted. And now I'm on his side. Baby, none of us was there. None of us was there to know actually what happened. All we can really go off of is the actual video, seeing the actual girl talking and seeing his ass talking as well. Now, we don't know everything that he done said because she said she had recordings, but we haven't seen them yet. So all we're seeing is her. So I don't know, y'all. It's a stick situation. All right, y'all. That's all the tea that I have. Make sure y'all tune in to 2 Men and Hats Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. sharp. And don't forget to stay tuned for your girl, Queen Watkins. Clock that tea. Y'all have a blessed day. Bye.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I literally have not been following that. So I don't care to. That sounds like a bunch of mess.
But again, it's kind of like you say, it's always kind of amazing how stuff kind of go with the subject matter in a sense. And undoubtedly this lady has done some shit like this before, and it's some hidden trauma and drama in her life that she just feel like she can just go and do some weird ass shit like this, and this man ain't did nothing to her.
Yeah. Going back to that time, that right there is crazy, bro. That's like, and then like not knowing the whole foundation. The moral of the story is, you know, we got to try to get to know people first before you just these going strictly out on these. Man, anyway, Monica says if you don't have a stable family unit and feel you are in an unsafe environment, God is the only one you can talk to. This goes back to what y'all say often: you can be in the household and still not be present.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. First of all, great advice, Queen. Never meet a first date at your own house. Second, recordings are necessary sometimes. Third, seek professional help when needed. Man, what?
That's what I was saying.
Because folk is out here, like we just talked about this on the single panel too. Like, you know, people say that I just prefer to meet somebody in person, you know. But if you meet through Facebook or online or whatever, at least if you meet somebody in person, you can kind of gauge and get a feeling. Like you meet them on Facebook and social media, then let's meet out at, or let me pick you up, or I think on first dates, man, should nobody be picking nobody up. You should be meeting it wherever you're going.
In this day and time now,
In this day and time and climate, y'all should be meeting each other out wherever y'all meeting each other. Y'all should be meeting, and then that way, if it does not work out after y'all start talking, okay, no love lost. Thank you. Have a great day. You have a great day, great life, whatever, and go on about your business.
Yeah.
Anywho, man, we got to get out of here, man. Look, it's been another good one, man. I think in the end, man, if I had to kind of sum this up any kind of way, again, I'm gonna go back to live your truth, whatever your truth is, man. Don't be around here trying to live a lie, because it's gonna eventually get you messed up and the person that you're dealing with messed up. So just live your truth. If you like guys, let the world know. I mean, you gotta let the world know, but don't hide it. If you like women and you're a woman, that's what it is. Just don't just be trying to put people out here trying to go live these fake lives and I got a wife and the kids, and or living these secondary lives where you got a wife and a kid over here and a wife and a kid over here and a wife and a kid in another state. Shit, but just whatever your truth is, live your truth.
So what do you think?
I guess that's why I can halfway respect.
Huh?
That's why I can halfway respect kind of like Neo. He mentioned Neo, so I'm gonna say Neo's situation, because it's an understanding that they all have together. It's not just one person that's saying this is gonna be that, and you gonna like it or love it, and or hate it. And now if I hate it, I ain't gonna be in the situation. But all those people are in that situation with him because they understand the situation, they love the situation or like the situation, they don't have a problem with the situation, and that's where it should be. It should be their choice. It comes down to choices. And if all 6 or 5 or 6 of them women, however he got, understand that in order for me to be with Neo, I gotta accept these other women and accept and split my time with these other women, and that's how it is, and they accept it, then that's them. Live your truth, whatever it is. So but don't force me to live a truth that I don't know about.
Right. What do you think about bisexuality when folks say they like both men and women?
Again, it's a conversation. If I meet you as a woman and you say, hey, yeah, I'm bisexual, I like men and both women, I know that up front, and if I choose to deal with that. But if she say, I like both men and women, but I'm looking for something exclusive right now, I'm not looking for something where I can bounce back and forth to men and women. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Then she could be telling you that because she might say, hey, I like to, and sometimes I like to party with both men and women. Are you okay with it? The man might be like, hell yeah, as long as it's always 2 women.
Right.
I'm just saying. So it goes back to communication, bro. You got to have a conversation.
Yeah.
And it goes back to communication, communicating whatever it is that your truth, and then let somebody else agree or disagree to whether or not they want to participate in that.
Right. Yeah.
And crazy, I think that's where the issues come in at. We throw people in situations that they ain't asked to be
in. True that.
So that's all I have, man.
That's all I got too, man. Hopefully y'all have a great day.
Come on, pray us out here.
Let us pray. Most gracious eternal God, our Father, Lord God, we thank you for waking us up this morning, starting us on our way, giving us reasonable portion of health and strength. Lord God, thank you for just being God and being God all by yourself. Lord God, we ask you, Lord God, to help people who may be going through situations, there's stuff that's in their past that may be hard to deal with, to touch them in their mind and their spirit and their souls, to be able to deal with this situation, whether they want to talk to somebody or not. I just want to confide in you and be and have a better life and a better mind mindset of where to go and how to live their life and then live their truth. And we actually continue to touch Tony family, my family, Queen family, and every person that's assembled and has been fellowshipping with us, Lord God. We actually continue to do that in your Father, Son, Jesus' name. And we said amen.
Amen, man. We'll see y'all tomorrow morning, same bat time.
Same bad place.
Too many hats. Let's talk about it.
It's the Too Many Hats podcast with your hosts with the most, Tony and Lavelle. Every morning from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. We also have Queen Watkins with Clock That He. Tune in with us and have a great time. Let's talk about it right here. Too Many Hats podcast.